Welcome to this journey into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided emperors, slaves, and countless individuals through life's greatest challenges. As you prepare for sleep, allow these timeless principles to seep into your consciousness, planting seeds of mental fortitude that will grow with each passing day. Tonight, we'll explore how to build an iron-strong mind using the wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Their teachings, though thousands of years old, offer profound insights into developing unshakable mental resilience in our modern world. Whether you're facing personal challenges, seeking to improve your emotional regulation, or simply wish to cultivate greater inner peace, the Stoic path offers practical wisdom that can transform your mind into an impenetrable fortress. As you drift towards sleep, allow these words to wash over you. There's no need to consciously remember everything. Your subconscious mind will absorb what it needs. Simply relax, breathe deeply, and begin this journey toward building an iron-strong mind. The foundations of Stoicism. Let us begin by understanding the core principles of Stoicism that form the foundation of mental strength. Stoicism emerged in Athens around 300 BCE, founded by Zeno of Citium. However, it reached its greatest expression through Roman thinkers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Emperor Marcus Aurelius. At its heart, Stoicism is a philosophy of personal ethics informed by a system of logic and views on the natural world. It teaches that virtue, the highest good, is based on knowledge, and that the wise live in harmony with the divine reason that governs nature. Stoics believed that by cultivating a resilient mind and practicing self-discipline, we can overcome life's challenges with grace and equanimity. The Stoics recognized that we cannot control external events, but we can control our responses to them. This fundamental insight forms the bedrock of mental fortitude. As Epictetus, who was born a slave and later became a respected philosopher, wrote, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This dichotomy of control is perhaps the most practical Stoic teaching for developing mental strength. By focusing our energy on what we can influence, our judgments, actions, and attitudes, rather than wasting it on matters beyond our control, we can conserve our mental resources and direct them where they can be most effective. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled as Roman emperor while practicing Stoic principles, reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound truth can transform how we approach life's challenges. As you rest and prepare for sleep, consider this foundation of Stoic thought. The path to an iron-strong mind begins with this recognition: external events may be beyond your control, but your responses to them are always within your power. This insight alone can begin to reshape how you face life's inevitable difficulties. The dichotomy of control. Let us explore more deeply this cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control. Understanding what is and isn't within our power is essential for building mental resilience. Epictetus begins his handbook, the Enchiridion, with this principle: some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, our property, reputation, office, and in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. This distinction may seem simple, but its implications are profound. How much mental energy do we waste worrying about things we cannot change? How often do we become frustrated, angry, or anxious about circumstances beyond our control? When we clearly distinguish between what we can and cannot control, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We stop expecting the impossible from ourselves and from the world. We direct our energy toward what we can influence, which is primarily our own thoughts and actions. Consider how this applies to your daily life. You cannot control whether it rains tomorrow, but you can control whether you bring an umbrella. You cannot control how others perceive you, but you can control how you behave. You cannot control whether you face obstacles, but you can control how you respond to them. This Stoic principle doesn't ask us to be passive in the face of challenges. Rather, it encourages us to be strategic, focusing our efforts where they can be effective. As Seneca advised, The wise person should be prepared for everything that does not lie within their control. As you drift closer to sleep, reflect on areas in your life where you might be expending mental energy on matters beyond your control. Imagine releasing that burden, feeling the weight lift from your shoulders as you redirect your focus to what you can influence. This mental shift alone can dramatically strengthen your mind and increase your resilience. Remember, an iron-strong mind knows what battles to fight. It doesn't waste energy trying to control the uncontrollable, but channels that energy toward effective action within its sphere of influence. Practicing negative visualization, one of the most powerful Stoic techniques for building mental resilience, is the practice of negative visualization, or what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This practice involves deliberately contemplating potential hardships, setbacks, or losses that could occur in your life. While this might initially sound pessimistic, it's actually a profound technique for strengthening your mind and increasing your appreciation for what you have. Seneca advised, "He who has prepared himself for all contingencies has made the evils soft by having expected them." Unexpected suffering is doubly burdensome. By mentally rehearsing potential difficulties, we reduce their impact when they actually occur. We develop psychological calluses that help us withstand life's inevitable hardships. How might you practice this in your own life? Consider spending a few minutes each day contemplating what it would be like to lose something you value, perhaps your job, your health, or even a relationship with someone you love. The goal isn't to become anxious or depressed, but to gently remind yourself of the impermanence of all things. This practice serves several purposes. First, it helps you prepare emotionally for potential challenges, making you more resilient when difficulties arise. Second, it diminishes the shock and surprise that often accompany unexpected setbacks. Third, and perhaps most importantly, it deepens your gratitude for what you currently have. As Epictetus suggested, when you are delighted with anything, be delighted as with something you might lose. By remembering the temporary nature of our possessions, relationships, and even our own lives, we appreciate them more fully in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius practiced this regularly, writing in his meditations, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness.'" By anticipating these challenges, he prepared his mind to respond with patience, understanding, and virtue. As you continue to relax and prepare for sleep, gently consider what challenges tomorrow might bring. Not with anxiety, but with calm acceptance and preparation. How might you respond with wisdom and virtue? By mentally rehearsing these scenarios, you strengthen your mind's ability to handle whatever comes your way. Remember, the Stoic practice of negative visualization isn't about dwelling on the negative, it's about preparing your mind for reality, so you can respond with strength, rather than being overwhelmed by unexpected difficulties. Embracing discomfort. Another powerful Stoic practice for developing mental fortitude is the deliberate embrace of discomfort. The Stoics recognize that comfort can weaken us, while voluntary discomfort builds resilience. Seneca, despite being one of Rome's wealthiest men, regularly practiced periods of voluntary poverty. He would dress in simple clothes, eat plain food, and sleep on a hard mattress. He explained, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This practice, sometimes called voluntary hardship, trains the mind to adapt to difficult circumstances. It reminds us that many of our perceived needs are actually preferences, and that we can endure much more than we typically believe. In our modern world of convenience and comfort, this Stoic practice is perhaps more valuable than ever. By intentionally embracing small discomforts, cold showers, fasting, hard physical exercise, or even just turning off the air conditioning on a hot day, we build our tolerance for discomfort and strengthen our mental resilience. Musonius Rufus, another Stoic philosopher, taught that to experience hunger or thirst when one has the option not to endure heat or cold in the same way, to sleep on a hard bed, all these things will greatly help not only in the pursuit of self-control, but also for the sake of good health. The purpose isn't to suffer needlessly, but to inoculate ourselves against future hardships. Just as a vaccine exposes us to a small dose of a pathogen to build immunity, voluntary discomfort exposes us to manageable challenges that strengthen our ability to handle greater difficulties. Epictetus, who experienced extreme hardship as a slave before becoming a philosopher, understood this well. He taught that difficulties are opportunities for virtue. Difficulties are things that show a person what they are. When a challenge comes along, remember that God, like a trainer of wrestlers, has matched you with a tough young buck. For what purpose? So that you may become an Olympic conqueror. But this is not achieved without sweat. As you continue to relax and prepare for sleep, consider what small discomforts you might voluntarily embrace in your daily life, not as punishment, but as training for your mind. Each small discomfort you willingly accept builds your mental strength, preparing you for whatever challenges life may bring. Remember, an iron-strong mind isn't one that avoids discomfort, it's one that has learned to function well despite discomfort, or even to use discomfort as fuel for growth. The view from above, one of the most profound Stoic practices for developing mental perspective and resilience, is what's often called the view from above. This meditation involves mentally stepping back from your immediate concerns and viewing them from a cosmic perspective. Marcus Aurelius frequently practiced this mental exercise. He wrote, "Think of the whole universe of matter, and how small your share. Think about the expanse of time, and how brief, almost momentary, the part marked for you. Think of the workings of fate, and how infinitesimal your role." This practice isn't meant to make us feel insignificant or meaningless. Rather, it helps us maintain proper perspective when we're caught up in the drama of daily life. When we zoom out and consider our problems against the backdrop of the vast universe, in the long arc of time, many of our concerns naturally diminish in importance. Imagine viewing your current challenges from space, seeing the Earth as a tiny blue dot. Or imagine looking back at this moment from 10 years in the future. How significant will today's worries seem then? This cosmic perspective doesn't invalidate our experiences, but it does help us maintain emotional equilibrium when facing difficulties. Seneca advised, we should take wandering outdoor walks, so that the mind might be nourished and refreshed by the open air and deep breathing. During these walks, he suggested contemplating the vastness of nature and our place within it. This practice helps break the spell of our narrow self-focused concerns. The view from above also reminds us of our connection to all humanity in the natural world. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul." This sense of connection can be a powerful source of comfort and strength during difficult times. As you continue to relax and prepare for sleep, imagine yourself rising above your current circumstances, viewing your life from an increasingly distant perspective. See your challenges within the broader context of your entire life, of human history, of the vast cosmos. Feel how this perspective naturally brings a sense of calm and equanimity. This cosmic viewpoint doesn't mean ignoring practical problems that need solving. Rather, it provides the mental space and emotional balance to address those problems more effectively, without being overwhelmed by them. An iron-strong mind maintains this broader perspective, even while dealing with immediate challenges. The present moment central to Stoic practice is the focus on the present moment. The Stoics recognize that much of our suffering comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, rather than engaging fully with the here and now. Seneca observed two elements must therefore be rooted out once for all: the fear of future suffering and the recollection of past suffering, since the latter no longer concerns me, and the former concerns me not yet. This focus on the present isn't about ignoring lessons from the past or failing to plan for the future. Rather, it's about recognizing that our power to act exists only in the present moment. The past is unchangeable, the future is uncertain, but the present is where we exercise our agency. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Confine yourself to the present, and elsewhere. Every hour focus your mind attentively on the performance of the task in hand, with dignity, human sympathy, benevolence, and freedom, and leave aside all other thoughts. You will achieve this if you perform each action as if it were your last." This present moment awareness is similar to what we now call mindfulness. It involves bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing, whether it's eating a meal, having a conversation, or completing a work task. This focused attention not only improves performance, but also reduces anxiety and increases satisfaction. Epictetus taught that we should divide matters into those that are within our control and those that are not. The present moment is where this distinction becomes practical. In this moment, you can control your judgments, your intentions, and your actions, not what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. As you continue to relax and prepare for sleep, bring your awareness fully to the present moment. Notice the sensation of your breath, the weight of your body against the bed, the sounds around you. This simple practice of present moment awareness is itself a powerful way to strengthen your mind. An iron-strong mind doesn't waste energy regretting the past or fearing the future. It focuses its power on the present moment, where effective action is possible. By cultivating this present moment awareness, you develop greater mental clarity, emotional stability, and personal effectiveness. Accepting what is a cornerstone of Stoic resilience is the practice of acceptance. This doesn't mean passive resignation, but rather a clear-eyed recognition of reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Epictetus, who endured slavery and disability, taught, don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. This Stoic acceptance begins with acknowledging facts without adding unnecessary judgments or emotional reactions. When something challenging occurs, the Stoic first says, "This has happened," before deciding how to respond. This pause between event and reaction is where our freedom lies. Marcus Aurelius practiced this regularly, writing, "Say to yourself in the early morning, I shall meet today ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, uncharitable men. All of these things have come upon them through ignorance of real good and ill. I can neither be harmed by any of them, for no man will involve me in wrong, nor can I be angry with my kinsman or hate him, for we have come into the world to work together." Notice how Marcus first accepts the reality that he will encounter difficult people, then chooses his response, not to be harmed or angered by them. This combination of clear-eyed acceptance and deliberate response is the essence of Stoic resilience. Seneca advised, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." By accepting what is, rather than fighting against reality or catastrophizing about what might happen, we conserve our mental energy and respond more effectively to challenges. This acceptance extends to our own limitations and mistakes. The Stoics recognize that we are fallible beings, who will sometimes fail despite our best efforts. Rather than denying this reality, or beating ourselves up when we fall short, they advocated honest acknowledgement, followed by renewed commitment to virtue. As you continue to relax and prepare for sleep, practice accepting this moment exactly as it is. Notice any resistance or tension in your body or mind, and gently let it go. This simple practice of acceptance can bring immediate relief from suffering, and is a foundation for building mental strength. Remember, an iron-strong mind doesn't waste energy fighting against reality. It accepts what is, then responds with wisdom and virtue. This acceptance isn't weakness but the foundation of true strength and effective action. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the belief that virtue is the only true good. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, knowing what is good, bad, and neither; justice, treating others fairly; courage, enduring hardship; and temperance, moderation in all things. For the Stoics, a good life wasn't defined by wealth, pleasure, fame, or even health, though these might be preferred, but by living virtuously. As Epictetus taught, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. This focus on virtue as the sole good provides tremendous mental freedom and resilience. When we define success not by external outcomes but by our own character and actions, we become less vulnerable to fortune's whims. We can maintain our integrity and peace of mind regardless of external circumstances. Seneca explained, "The wise man looks to the purpose of all actions, not their consequences. Beginnings are in our power, but fortune judges the outcome, and I do not grant her a verdict upon me." In other words, we should focus on acting virtuously and accept whatever results follow, knowing we've done our best. This perspective transforms how we approach challenges. Instead of seeing difficulties as obstacles to happiness, we can view them as opportunities to exercise virtue. Poverty becomes an opportunity for moderation, illness for courage, conflict for justice, and confusion for wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every obstacle offers a chance to practice virtue, and therefore paradoxically, becomes a good in itself. This doesn't mean the Stoics sought out suffering, or were indifferent to pleasure. They recognized natural preferences for health, wealth, and other preferred indifference. But they understood that true happiness, what they called eudaimonia, comes from living virtuously, not from external circumstances. As you continue to relax and prepare for sleep, consider how this perspective might transform your approach to challenges. What if you define success not by outcomes but by how virtuously you respond to whatever happens? How might this shift reduce anxiety and increase resilience? An iron-strong mind is anchored in virtue. It finds stability, not in changing external conditions, but in the unwavering commitment to wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This internal anchor provides strength and peace even amid life's greatest storms. An iron-strong mind practices present moment awareness. It doesn't waste energy regretting the past or worrying about the future, but focuses its power on the present moment, where effective action is possible. This presence brings clarity and effectiveness to each situation. An iron-strong mind balances acceptance and action. It accepts reality as it is without resistance or denial, then responds with wisdom and virtue. This combination of clear-eyed acceptance and principled response enables effective navigation of life's challenges. An iron-strong mind cultivates gratitude and contentment. It appreciates what it has, rather than constantly craving more. This grateful perspective provides tremendous resilience, helping maintain equanimity regardless of external circumstances. An iron-strong mind views itself as part of a larger whole. It recognizes its connection to all humanity and the natural world, finding meaning in contributing to the common good. This sense of belonging and purpose transcends self-interest to embrace a larger vision. An iron-strong mind approaches life as continuous growth. It views challenges as opportunities for development, maintains humility about its knowledge, and commits to ongoing improvement. This growth mindset transforms every experience into a chance to learn and evolve. As you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself embodying these qualities: clear, perspective, transformative, virtuous, present, balanced, grateful, connected and growing. Feel the strength and peace that naturally arise from this way of being. Building an iron-strong mind is a lifelong journey, not a destination. There will be moments of strength and moments of struggle. What matters is not perfection, but the commitment to this path, the daily choice to apply these principles in your life. May the wisdom of the Stoics guide you toward greater mental resilience. May you face life's challenges with clarity, courage, and equanimity. And may you discover through your own experience the profound freedom that comes from developing an iron-strong mind. Epilogue: the ongoing journey. As this exploration comes to a close, remember that the true work is just beginning. The principles and practices we've discussed become transformative only through consistent application in daily life. Start where you are. You don't need perfect understanding or immediate mastery to benefit from these teachings. As Epictetus advised, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Begin with small applications in everyday situations, gradually building your capacity for more significant challenges. Be patient with yourself. Developing mental resilience through Stoic principles is a lifelong journey. There will be setbacks and struggles along the way. What matters is not perfection but persistence, the commitment to return to these practices even after falling short. Remain curious and open. While the core principles of Stoicism provide a solid foundation, Your understanding will continually deepen through experience and reflection. Allow your practice to evolve as you discover what works best for your unique circumstances and challenges. Share what you learn. The Stoics viewed wisdom as something to be lived and shared, not hoarded. As you experience the benefits of these practices, consider how you might help others discover similar strength and peace. This might be through formal teaching or simply through the example of how you live. Remember that you're not alone on this path. Throughout history and across the world today, countless individuals have drawn strength from these same principles. When you face difficulties in your practice, take comfort in this community of fellow travelers, both past and present. Finally, trust the process. These principles have stood the test of time because they work. As you consistently apply them in your life, you'll gradually notice subtle shifts in your perceptions and responses. Over time, these small changes accumulate into profound transformation. The iron-strong mind isn't built in a day, a week, or even a year. It develops through countless choices, practices, and experiences, gradually forging a resilience that can weather life's greatest challenges with wisdom and equanimity. May your journey toward mental strength be rich with discovery, growth, and deepening wisdom. And may the ancient teachings of Stoicism serve as faithful companions as you forge your own iron-strong mind, and maintain inner tranquility, even amid physical suffering, offers powerful resilience. The Stoics also practiced voluntary physical discomfort to build resilience. Seneca described his practice: "I have made it my habit to go contrary to the most fortunate circumstances and to strengthen myself for the endurance of adversity by voluntarily experiencing it." This might include cold exposure, fasting, simple food, hard physical labor, or uncomfortable clothing, not as punishment but as training. Practical approaches to building physical resilience through Stoic principles include viewing physical challenges as opportunities for virtue and growth, practicing voluntary discomfort to build tolerance for hardship, maintaining perspective on physical pain through mental discipline, focusing on what remains within your control despite physical limitations, cultivating gratitude for whatever physical abilities you possess. As you continue to relax and prepare for sleep, consider how you might apply Stoic principles to physical challenges in your life. How might this perspective transform your relationship with your body and its limitations or capabilities? An iron-strong mind recognizes the body as an important domain for practicing virtue and building resilience. By applying Stoic principles to physical challenges, we develop greater fortitude in all aspects of life, learning to maintain inner strength regardless of external circumstances. The ultimate test. Facing mortality. Perhaps the ultimate test of mental resilience is facing our own mortality with equanimity. The Stoics devoted considerable attention to this challenge, developing practices to transform our relationship with death. Epictetus taught, "Keep before your eyes day by day death and exile, and everything that seems terrible, but most of all death, and then you will never have any abject thought, nor will you yearn for anything beyond measure." This regular contemplation of death wasn't morbid but clarifying, helping to distinguish what truly matters from trivial concerns. The Stoics viewed death not as an evil, but as a natural process. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, death is a release from the impressions of the senses, and from desires that make us their puppets, and from the vagaries of the mind, and from the hard service of the flesh. This perspective reduces fear by seeing death as part of nature's cycle, rather than a punishment or tragedy. Seneca observed, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man." This insight recognizes how the fear of death can paralyze us in life, preventing us from taking meaningful risks or standing for important principles. By making peace with mortality, we paradoxically become more fully alive. The Stoics practiced memento mori, remembering death as a daily exercise. This might involve contemplating one's own mortality, reflecting on the deaths of others, or using symbols like skulls as reminders of life's impermanence. Far from being depressing, this practice often increases appreciation for the present moment and clarifies priorities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This powerful perspective cuts through procrastination and trivial concerns, focusing attention on living virtuously in the present moment. The Stoics also found comfort in the broader perspective of cosmic cycles. Marcus reflected, "All things are changing, and you yourself are in continuous mutation, and in a manner in continuous destruction, and the whole universe too." This recognition that death is part of a larger pattern of transformation rather than absolute annihilation can reduce existential fear. Practical approaches to developing resilience and facing mortality include regular reflection on the temporary nature of life, clarifying what you want to stand for in the time you have, practicing gratitude for each day as a gift, considering your legacy, how you wish to be remembered, finding meaning in contributing to something larger than yourself. Consider your own mortality, not with fear but with acceptance. How might this awareness clarify what truly matters in your life? What would you do differently if you fully embraced the temporary nature of your existence? An iron strong mind makes peace with mortality. By facing death directly rather than denying it, we paradoxically become more fully alive. This acceptance of life's impermanence provides tremendous freedom and focus, helping us live with greater purpose and appreciation in the time we have. Integrating Stoicism with other wisdom traditions. While Stoicism offers a comprehensive approach to building mental resilience, its power can be enhanced by integrating insights from other wisdom traditions. The Stoics themselves were influenced by earlier philosophies and open to valuable ideas regardless of their source. Buddhism shares several important parallels with Stoicism. Both traditions emphasize the role of our judgments in creating suffering, the importance of accepting impermanence, and the value of mental discipline. The Buddhist practice of mindfulness complements Stoic attention to the present moment, while Buddhist compassion practices can enrich the Stoic commitment to justice and humanity. Taoism's emphasis on flowing with nature, rather than struggling against it, resonates with the Stoic acceptance of fate. The Taoist concept of Wu Wei, effortless action in harmony with nature, offers a complementary perspective to the Stoic focus on virtuous effort. Both traditions recognize the wisdom of aligning with larger natural patterns rather than imposing our will against them. Modern positive psychology provides empirical support for many Stoic practices while offering additional evidence-based approaches to well-being. Practices like gratitude journaling, strength identification, and positive reframing align well with Stoic principles while adding contemporary insights from psychological research. Cognitive behavioral therapy, as mentioned earlier, draws directly from Stoic insights about the relationship between thoughts and emotions. Its structured approach to identifying and challenging unhelpful thinking patterns provides practical tools that complement Stoic philosophy. Indigenous wisdom traditions often emphasize community resilience and connection to the natural world in ways that can enrich the more individually focused aspects of Stoicism. Their recognition of our interdependence with all life forms expands the Stoic view of cosmic citizenship. In integrating these diverse traditions, we're not diluting Stoicism but enriching it. Much as the Stoics themselves incorporated insights from Socrates, Heraclitus, and other predecessors, the key is maintaining philosophical coherence rather than creating a contradictory hodgepodge of ideas. Practical approaches to this integration include identifying complementary practices from different traditions, exploring areas where other traditions might address Stoic blind spots, experimenting with practices while observing their effects, maintaining philosophical clarity about core principles, adapting practices to your specific needs and circumstances. Consider which elements of other wisdom traditions might complement your exploration of Stoicism. What practices or perspectives resonate with you and might enhance your development of mental resilience? An iron-strong mind remains open to wisdom from diverse sources while maintaining philosophical coherence. By thoughtfully integrating insights from various traditions, we develop a more comprehensive approach to resilience that draws on humanity's collective wisdom. Building a personal Stoic practice. Having explored numerous aspects of Stoic philosophy and its applications, let's now focus on developing a personal practice that works for your unique circumstances and needs. Building mental resilience through Stoicism isn't about rigid adherence to a prescribed routine, but about finding practices that genuinely serve your growth. Start small and build gradually. As Musonius Rufus advised, we must undergo training both of the body and the soul, but not in the same way, or to the same extent. Begin with one or two practices that resonate with you, perhaps a morning reflection or evening review, and allow your practice to evolve organically as you experience its benefits. Consistency matters more than intensity. A brief daily practice will transform your mind more effectively than occasional intensive efforts. As Epictetus taught, practice yourself for heaven's sake in little things, and thence proceed to greater. These small regular habits gradually reshape your perceptions and responses, adapt practices to your circumstances. While the principles of Stoicism are universal, their application should be personalized. If you're a parent with young children, your morning reflection might look different than a college student's or a retiree's. The essence matters more than the form. Use reminders and triggers to establish habits. The ancient Stoics didn't have smartphone apps, but they used physical objects, written maxims and environmental cues to remind themselves of key principles. Consider what modern tools might serve a similar purpose in your life. Find community for support and accountability. While much of Stoic practice is internal, connecting with others on a similar path can provide encouragement, insight, and perspective. This might be through online forums, local meetups, or simply conversations with friends interested in philosophy. Approach your practice with both discipline and self-compassion. The Stoics valued rigorous self-examination but not harsh self-criticism. When you fall short of your ideals, respond with renewed commitment rather than self-condemnation. As Epictetus advised, if you have assumed a character beyond your strength, you have both played a poor figure in that, and neglected one that is within your powers. Elements you might include in your personal practice: morning preparation, setting intentions for the day ahead; evening reflection, reviewing your actions and responses; journaling, clarifying thoughts and tracking progress; negative visualization, contemplating potential challenges; voluntary discomfort, building resilience through small hardships; mindfulness, maintaining present moment awareness; philosophical, reading, deepening your understanding of principles; community service, practicing virtue through contribution. Consider which of these elements might best serve your development of mental resilience. What specific form might they take in your daily life? How will you remember and maintain your practice amid life's busyness? An iron-strong mind is built through consistent practice. By developing habits that reinforce Stoic principles, you gradually transform how you perceive and respond to life's challenges, building the mental resilience to face whatever comes your way with wisdom and equanimity. Stoicism for different life stages. The principles of Stoicism apply across the lifespan, but their application may shift as we move through different life stages. Let's explore how Stoic practices might be especially relevant during various phases of life. For young adults establishing their identity and direction, Stoicism offers valuable guidance on developing character rather than chasing external markers of success. Epictetus had advised, "Make it your study to respond to every harsh impression with gentleness and serenity." This focus on internal qualities rather than achievements provides a stable foundation for identity formation. Young adults also benefit from the Stoic emphasis on clarifying values and making principled choices. As Seneca noted, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. By identifying core values early, young people can navigate decisions with greater clarity and purpose. For those in midlife balancing multiple responsibilities: career, family, community, the Stoic dichotomy of control offers crucial perspective. By distinguishing between what we can and cannot influence, we conserve energy and reduce unnecessary stress. This clarity helps manage the competing demands of this often intense life stage. Midlife also often brings encounters with limitation and mortality, making the Stoic acceptance of natural processes especially relevant. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." This perspective helps navigate the inevitable transitions and losses of midlife with greater equanimity. For those in later life facing retirement, health challenges, and the approach of mortality, Stoic teachings on purpose beyond external roles become vital. As Seneca observed, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This focus on meaningful engagement regardless of circumstances supports well-being during major life transitions. Older adults can also find particular value in the Stoic practice of memento mori, remembering death, rather than creating fear. This awareness often enhances appreciation for remaining time and clarifies priorities. As Marcus wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Across all life stages, the Stoic emphasis on virtue as the sole good provides stability amid changing circumstances. External conditions inevitably shift throughout life, but the commitment to wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation remains a constant source of meaning and purpose. Similarly, the Stoic recognition of our shared humanity and cosmic citizenship transcends age-specific concerns. At every stage of life we can find meaning in contributing to the common good and recognizing our place in the larger whole. Consider which Stoic principles seem most relevant to your current life stage. How might you adapt these teachings to address your specific challenges and opportunities? An iron-strong mind evolves throughout life while maintaining core principles. By applying Stoic wisdom to age-specific challenges, we develop the resilience to navigate each life stage with grace, purpose, and wisdom. The ongoing journey starts where you are. You don't need perfect understanding or immediate mastery to benefit from these teachings. As Epictetus advised, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Begin with small applications in everyday situations, gradually building your capacity for more significant challenges. Be patient with yourself. Developing mental resilience through Stoic principles is a lifelong journey. There will be setbacks and struggles along the way. What matters is not perfection but persistence. The commitment to return to these practices even after falling short. Remain curious and open. While the core principles of Stoicism provide a solid foundation, your understanding will continually deepen through experience and reflection. Allow your practice to evolve as you discover what works best for your unique circumstances and challenges. Share what you learn. The Stoics viewed wisdom as something to be lived and shared, not hoarded. As you experience the benefits of these practices, consider how you might help others discover similar strength and peace. This might be through formal teaching, or simply through the example of how you live. Remember that you're not alone on this path. Throughout history and across the world today, countless individuals have drawn strength from these same principles. When you face difficulties in your practice, take comfort in this community of fellow travelers, both past and present. Finally, trust the process. These principles have stood the test of time because they work. As you consistently apply them in your life, you'll gradually notice subtle shifts in your perceptions and responses. Over time, these small changes accumulate into profound transformation. The iron-strong mind isn't built in a day, a week, or even a year. It develops through countless choices, practices, and experiences, gradually forging a resilience that can weather life's greatest challenges with wisdom and equanimity. May your journey toward mental strength be rich with discovery, growth, and deepening wisdom. And may the ancient teachings of Stoicism serve as faithful companions as you forge your own iron-strong mind. Building an iron-strong mind isn't just about personal resilience. It also transforms how we relate to others. The Stoics offered profound insights on navigating relationships with wisdom and virtue. Epictetus taught a fundamental principle for healthier relationships. Remember that you ought to behave in life as you would at a banquet. As something is being passed around, it comes to you. Stretch out your hand, take a portion of it politely. It passes on. Do not detain it. Or it has not come to you yet. Do not project your desire to meet it, but wait until it comes in front of you. This metaphor beautifully captures the Stoic approach to relationships, appreciating connections while they're present without clinging to them, and accepting their natural evolution without anxious pursuit. This balanced attitude creates space for authentic connection without unhealthy attachment or expectation. For managing conflict, the Stoics emphasized perspective and self-examination. Marcus Aurelius advised, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." This isn't pessimism but preparation. Recognizing others' humanity and fallibility helps us respond with patience, rather than surprise or indignation. When conflicts arise, Seneca offered this guidance: whenever you interact with people, don't be too quick to judge their actions. Just as we are a mixture of good and bad qualities, so too are others. This recognition of our shared imperfection naturally fosters compassion and reduces harsh judgment. The Stoics also recognized the importance of boundaries in relationships. Epictetus taught, if a person gave your body to any stranger he met on his way, you would certainly be angry. And do you feel no shame in handing over your own mind to be confused and mystified by anyone who happens to verbally attack you? This principle reminds us to protect our inner tranquility, not allowing others' opinions or behaviors to disturb our peace. For romantic relationships specifically, Musonius Rufus emphasized mutual respect and partnership. The husband and wife should come together for the purpose of making a life in common and of procreating children, and furthermore, of regarding all things in common between them, and nothing peculiar or private to one or the other, not even their own bodies. This vision of partnership where both individuals contribute to a shared life while maintaining their commitment to virtue, offers a balanced alternative to both unhealthy dependence and cold detachment. Practical Stoic approaches to relationships include focusing on your own virtue rather than trying to control others, practicing empathy by remembering others' humanity and struggles, maintaining boundaries that protect your inner tranquility, accepting the temporary nature of all relationships, contributing to others' well-being without expectation of return. The Stoic approach to relationships doesn't promise perfect harmony or freedom from pain. Rather, it offers a path to more authentic, balanced connections grounded in virtue and mutual respect. By applying these principles, we develop relationships that support rather than undermine our mental resilience. Stoicism in decision-making. Making wise decisions is essential for building an iron-strong mind, and Stoicism offers powerful frameworks for this critical skill. The Stoics recognize that our choices shape our character and determine the course of our lives. At the foundation of Stoic decision-making is the focus on virtue as the sole good. When facing a difficult choice, the Stoic first asks which option best expresses wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. This clarity about what truly matters cuts through confusion and competing priorities. Epictetus advised, first tell yourself what kind of person you want to be, then do what you have to do. This principle encourages us to make decisions based on our deepest values and the character we wish to develop, rather than momentary desires or external pressures. For complex decisions with uncertain outcomes, the Stoics emphasized focusing on what we can control, our intentions and actions rather than results. As Epictetus taught, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. This perspective reduces anxiety about outcomes while maintaining commitment to virtuous action. The Stoics also practiced what modern psychologists call pre-mortem analysis, imagining potential negative outcomes and planning accordingly. Seneca advised, nothing happens to the wise man against his expectation, nor do all things turn out for him as he wished, but as he reckoned, and above all he reckoned that something could block his plans. This realistic assessment isn't pessimism but prudent preparation. By anticipating potential obstacles, we can either develop contingency plans or decide whether the risk is worth taking. For decisions involving others, the Stoics emphasized considering the common good. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, what brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee. This perspective expands our consideration beyond narrow self-interest to include impacts on our communities and the broader world. Practical Stoic approaches to decision-making include clarifying your values and using them as decision criteria, distinguishing between what you can and cannot control in the situation, considering potential obstacles and preparing for them, evaluating impacts on others and the common good, focusing on process, virtuous action rather than outcomes. By applying these Stoic principles to decision-making, we develop greater clarity, reduce unnecessary anxiety, and make choices aligned with our deepest values. This approach builds confidence in our ability to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and integrity. Stoicism and professional excellence. The principles of Stoicism offer powerful guidance for achieving excellence in our professional lives. while maintaining inner balance. The Stoics recognized that work is an important domain for practicing virtue and contributing to the common good. Musonius Rufus taught that work should develop our character, not just provide material benefits. If you accomplish something good with hard work, the labor passes quickly, but the good endures. If you do something shameful in pursuit of pleasure, the pleasure passes quickly, but the shame endures. This perspective transforms how we approach our professional endeavors. Rather than focusing solely on external rewards like money, status, or recognition, we can view work as an opportunity to practice virtue and contribute meaningfully to others. For handling workplace challenges, the dichotomy of control offers crucial guidance. By clearly distinguishing between what we can influence, our effort, skills, integrity, and what we cannot, market conditions, others' decisions, office politics, we direct our energy more effectively and reduce unnecessary stress. Epictetus advised, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. In professional contexts, this means focusing on delivering excellent work and maintaining ethical standards while accepting that results are not entirely within our control. For leadership roles, Stoicism emphasizes leading by example rather than mere authority. Marcus Aurelius, who held the highest leadership position possible in his time, reminded himself, be straightforward, not straitened. Observe what thy nature requires, as one subject to nature alone, then do it and accept it, if thy nature as a living being is not made worse by it. This commitment to authenticity and natural leadership creates moral authority that transcends formal position. The Stoic leader embodies the virtues they wish to see in their team, creating a culture of excellence through personal example. For managing workplace relationships, Stoicism offers valuable perspective. Epictetus taught, remember that you are an actor in a play, which is as the playwright wants it to be. For this is your business, to play well the role assigned to you, but the selection of the role is another's. This theatrical metaphor reminds us to fulfill our professional roles with excellence while maintaining psychological distance from workplace drama. We can engage fully in our responsibilities without becoming emotionally entangled in office politics or conflicts. Practical Stoic approaches to professional excellence include defining success in terms of virtue rather than external rewards, focusing on what you can control in your work environment, viewing challenges as opportunities to practice resilience and problem solving, maintaining ethical standards regardless of what others do, finding meaning in contribution rather than recognition. By applying these Stoic principles to our professional lives, we can achieve excellence while maintaining inner tranquility. This balanced approach prevents both burnout from overinvestment and disengagement from underinvestment, creating sustainable success grounded in virtue. Stoicism and financial resilience. Building an iron-strong mind includes developing resilience in our relationship with money and material possessions. The Stoics, contrary to popular misconception, didn't reject wealth, but offered a balanced perspective that promotes both financial prudence and inner freedom. Seneca, who was one of Rome's wealthiest men, wrote extensively about the proper attitude toward money. It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the one who hankers after more. This insight highlights that financial contentment comes not from the absolute amount we possess, but from our attitude toward what we have. The Stoics distinguished between wealth as a preferred indifferent and virtue as the sole good. This means that while financial resources can be useful and worth pursuing preferred, they don't determine our happiness or worth indifferent. Only virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation constitutes true wealth. Musonius Rufus taught, we should not seek to have many possessions, but rather to have what suffices for our needs. This principle of sufficiency rather than excess promotes financial stability while preventing the endless pursuit of more that characterizes consumerism. For building financial resilience, the Stoic practice of voluntary simplicity offers practical wisdom. By periodically living with less than we can afford, simpler food, clothing, or entertainment, we develop confidence in our ability to thrive with less, if circumstances require it. Seneca described his practice: set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? This practice builds psychological immunity to financial setbacks. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of generosity. Seneca advised, "Let us be generous as becomes our means, that is, let us give what we can afford to part with." This balanced approach recognizes both the value of sharing resources and the prudence of maintaining financial stability. For making financial decisions, the Stoic focus on long-term thinking rather than immediate gratification promotes sound judgment. By considering the full consequences of financial choices rather than just immediate benefits, we naturally make more prudent decisions. Practical Stoic approaches to financial resilience include distinguishing between needs and wants, practicing gratitude for what you already have, building savings as a buffer against uncertainty, periodically practicing voluntary simplicity, using wealth as a tool for virtue rather than an end in itself. By applying these Stoic principles to our financial lives, we develop both practical resilience to economic challenges and psychological freedom from materialism. This balanced approach allows us to use money wisely without being controlled by it. Stoicism and health challenges. Health challenges test our mental resilience like few other experiences. The Stoics, who faced illness, aging, and physical limitations without modern medicine, developed powerful approaches for maintaining inner strength amid bodily difficulties. Epictetus, who lived with disability after being crippled as a slave, taught disease is an impediment to the body, but not to the will, unless the will itself chooses. This fundamental distinction between physical limitation and mental freedom forms the foundation of Stoic resilience in health challenges. The dichotomy of control is especially relevant when facing health issues. We cannot always control our physical condition, but we maintain control over our judgments about it and our responses to it. By focusing on what remains within our power, our attitude, treatment decisions, and daily habits, we maintain agency even in difficult circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, who likely suffered from chronic health problems, wrote, "The pain which is intolerable carries us off, but that which lasts a long time is tolerable, and the mind maintains its own tranquility by retiring into itself, and the ruling faculty is not made worse." This perspective, that we can maintain inner tranquility even amid physical suffering, offers powerful resilience. For chronic conditions that cannot be cured, the Stoic practice of acceptance provides a path forward. This isn't passive resignation, but clear-eyed recognition of reality as it is, which becomes the starting point for effective action. By accepting, rather than denying or fighting against unchangeable aspects of our health, we conserve energy for constructive responses. Seneca advised, "It is precisely in times of immunity from care that the soul should toughen itself beforehand for occasions of greater stress." This principle suggests that we can prepare for potential health challenges through practices that build mental resilience while we're well: meditation, philosophical reflection, and voluntary discomfort. The Stoics also recognized the connection between mental and physical health. Musonius Rufus taught, "Just as we must exercise the body, so we must exercise the mind." This holistic approach acknowledges that caring for our physical health supports mental resilience, while cultivating mental strength helps us face physical challenges. Practical Stoic approaches to health challenges include distinguishing between what you can and cannot control about your condition, focusing on what you can still do rather than what you cannot, viewing health challenges as opportunities to practice virtue, maintaining perspective through the view from above, finding meaning in how you respond to difficulties. By applying these Stoic principles to health challenges, we develop the resilience to face physical limitations with dignity and purpose. This doesn't eliminate suffering, but transforms our relationship with it, allowing us to maintain inner strength, regardless of bodily condition. Stoicism and technological balance. In our digital age, maintaining mental clarity amid constant connectivity presents unique challenges. While the ancient Stoics couldn't have imagined smartphones or social media, their principles offer valuable guidance for technological balance. The Stoic emphasis on attention and presence applies directly to our relationship with technology. Epictetus taught, "When you relax your attention for a little, do not imagine that you will recover it wherever you wish, but bear this in mind, that because of the mistake which you have made today, your condition must necessarily be worse as regards everything else." This insight highlights how fragmented attention from constant digital distraction can undermine our mental clarity. The dichotomy of control helps us navigate information overload. We cannot control the constant flow of news, notifications, and messages, but we can control our engagement with them. By establishing boundaries around technology use, we reclaim agency over our attention and mental space. For social media specifically, the Stoic perspective on external validation offers valuable guidance. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others." This insight helps us recognize and resist the pull of seeking validation through likes, shares, and followers. The Stoic practice of simplicity applies to our digital lives as well. By periodically decluttering our devices, removing unnecessary apps, unsubscribing from excessive emails, curating social media feeds, we create space for more intentional engagement with technology. Seneca's advice on time management speaks directly to our digital age. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. This perspective encourages us to view our attention as a precious resource and allocate it accordingly. Practical Stoic approaches to technological balance include establishing regular digital Sabbaths, periods without screens, creating boundaries around when and how you engage with technology, practicing mindful technology use, being fully present with one task, curating information sources for quality rather than quantity, using technology as a tool for virtue rather than distraction. By applying these Stoic principles to our relationship with technology, we can harness its benefits while preventing digital overwhelm. This balanced approach allows us to use modern tools without sacrificing the mental clarity essential for an iron-strong mind. Stoicism and environmental challenges. As we face growing environmental challenges, from climate change to biodiversity loss, Stoic philosophy offers valuable perspectives for maintaining resilience while taking responsible action. The Stoic view of humans as part of nature rather than separate from it provides an important foundation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All things are interwoven with one another, and the bond is sacred, for there is one universe out of all, one God through all, one substance and one law." This recognition of our fundamental connection to the natural world naturally fosters environmental responsibility. The dichotomy of control helps us navigate environmental concerns without becoming overwhelmed. We cannot individually control global climate patterns or ecosystem collapse, but we can control our own choices and actions. By focusing on what we can influence, our consumption, advocacy, and local efforts, we maintain agency without falling into despair. For managing eco-anxiety, the Stoic practice of accepting what we cannot change while working to improve what we can offers valuable balance. This isn't passive resignation, but clear-eyed recognition of reality as it is, which becomes the starting point for effective action. Seneca's advice applies well to environmental challenges. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. This urgency without panic encourages meaningful action in the present rather than procrastination or denial. The Stoic emphasis on virtue over pleasure naturally aligns with sustainable living. By prioritizing what is right over what is merely convenient or pleasurable, we make choices that consider long-term impacts and the common good rather than just immediate gratification. The Stoic concept of cosmopolitanism, being a citizen of the world, extends our moral concern beyond national boundaries. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "As Antoninus, my city and my country is Rome. As a human being, it is the world." This global perspective helps us recognize our responsibility to the entire planet and future generations. For maintaining hope amid dire environmental news, the Stoic focus on process over outcomes offers valuable resilience. By defining success in terms of virtuous action rather than guaranteed results, we can continue working for environmental solutions even when progress seems slow or uncertain. Practical Stoic approaches to environmental challenges include focusing on your own environmental impact, what you can directly control, practicing voluntary simplicity to reduce consumption, viewing sustainable choices as expressions of virtue, maintaining perspective through the view from above, finding meaning in contribution to collective solutions. By applying these Stoic principles to environmental challenges, we develop the resilience to face difficult realities while maintaining the commitment to constructive action. This balanced approach prevents both denial and despair, supporting sustainable engagement with these crucial issues. Stoicism and political polarization. In an era of increasing political polarization, Stoic philosophy offers valuable guidance for maintaining mental equilibrium while engaging constructively with civic life. The dichotomy of control helps us navigate political concerns without becoming overwhelmed. We cannot individually control election outcomes, policy decisions, or others' political views, but we can control our own civic engagement and how we conduct ourselves in political discourse. Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things. This perspective liberates us from excessive concern about others' political judgments, allowing us to stand for our principles even when they're unpopular. For managing political conversations, the Stoic emphasis on reason over emotion promotes more productive dialogue. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when you wish to delight yourself, think of the virtues of those who live with you, for nothing delights so much as the examples of the virtues when they are exhibited in the morals of those who live with us. This focus on others' virtues rather than flaws helps maintain respect even amid disagreement. The Stoic recognition of our shared humanity transcends political divisions. Marcus wrote, "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural." This perspective reminds us that despite political differences, we remain part of one human community with shared fundamental needs and concerns. For maintaining equanimity amid political turmoil, the view from above practice offers valuable perspective. By mentally stepping back to view current political conflicts within the broader context of human history and the cosmos, we naturally reduce reactivity while maintaining commitment to constructive engagement. Practical Stoic approaches to political polarization include focusing on your own civic virtue rather than controlling outcomes, practicing empathetic listening to understand different perspectives, maintaining principles without demonizing those who disagree, distinguishing between policies and the people who support them, finding common ground based on shared human concerns. By applying these Stoic principles to political engagement, we can participate in civic life with both conviction and composure. This balanced approach allows us to stand for our values while maintaining the mental clarity essential for constructive dialogue across differences. Stoicism and environmental challenges. As we face growing environmental challenges, from climate change to biodiversity loss, Stoic philosophy offers valuable perspectives for maintaining resilience while taking responsible action. The Stoic view of humans as part of nature rather than separate from it provides an important foundation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All things are interwoven with one another, and the bond is sacred, for there is one universe out of all, one God through all, one substance and one law." This recognition of our fundamental connection to the natural world naturally fosters environmental responsibility. The dichotomy of control helps us navigate environmental concerns without becoming overwhelmed. We cannot individually control global climate patterns or ecosystem collapse, but we can control our own choices and actions. By focusing on what we can influence, our consumption, advocacy, and local efforts, we maintain agency without falling into despair. For managing eco-anxiety, the Stoic practice of accepting what we cannot change while working to improve what we can offers valuable balance. This isn't passive resignation, but clear-eyed recognition of reality as it is, which becomes the starting point for effective action. Seneca's advice applies well to environmental challenges. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. This urgency without panic encourages meaningful action in the present rather than procrastination or denial. The Stoic emphasis on virtue over pleasure naturally aligns with sustainable living. By prioritizing what is right over what is merely convenient or pleasurable, we make choices that consider long-term impacts and the common good rather than just immediate gratification. The Stoic concept of cosmopolitanism, being a citizen of the world, extends our moral concern beyond national boundaries. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "As Antoninus my city and my country is Rome. As a human being it is the world." This global perspective helps us recognize our responsibility to the entire planet and future generations. For maintaining hope amid dire environmental news, the Stoic focus on process over outcomes offers valuable resilience. By defining success in terms of virtuous action rather than guaranteed results, we can continue working for environmental solutions even when progress seems slow or uncertain. Practical Stoic approaches to environmental challenges include focusing on your own environmental impact, what you can directly control, practicing voluntary simplicity to reduce consumption, viewing sustainable choices as expressions of virtue, maintaining perspective through the view from above, finding meaning in contribution to collective solutions. By applying these Stoic principles to environmental challenges, we develop the resilience to face difficult realities while maintaining the commitment to constructive action. This balanced approach prevents both denial and despair, supporting sustainable engagement with these crucial issues. Stoicism and political polarization. In an era of increasing political polarization, Stoic philosophy offers valuable guidance for maintaining mental equilibrium, while engaging constructively with civic life. The dichotomy of control helps us navigate political concerns without becoming overwhelmed. We cannot individually control election outcomes, policy decisions, or others' political views, but we can control our own civic engagement and how we conduct ourselves in political discourse. Epictetus advised, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things." This perspective liberates us from excessive concern about others' political judgments, allowing us to stand for our principles even when they're unpopular. For managing political conversations, the Stoic emphasis on reason over emotion promotes more productive dialogue. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "When you wish to delight yourself, think of the virtues of those who live with you, for nothing delights so much as the examples of the virtues when they are exhibited in the morals of those who live with us." This focus on others' virtues rather than flaws helps maintain respect even amid disagreement. The Stoic recognition of our shared humanity transcends political divisions. Marcus wrote, "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural." This perspective reminds us that despite political differences, we remain part of one human community with shared fundamental needs and concerns. For maintaining equanimity amid political turmoil, the view from above practice offers valuable perspective. By mentally stepping back to view current political conflicts within the broader context of human history and the cosmos, we naturally reduce reactivity while maintaining commitment to constructive engagement. Practical Stoic approaches to political polarization include focusing on your own civic virtue rather than controlling outcomes, practicing empathetic listening to understand different perspectives, maintaining principles without demonizing those who disagree, distinguishing between policies and the people who support them, finding common ground based on shared human concerns. By applying these Stoic principles to political engagement, we can participate in civic life with both conviction and composure. This balanced approach allows us to stand for our values while maintaining the mental clarity essential for constructive dialogue across differences. Stoicism and information overload. In our information-saturated world, maintaining mental clarity amid constant news, notifications, and data presents unique challenges. Stoic philosophy offers valuable guidance for managing information without becoming overwhelmed. The Stoic emphasis on attention as our most precious resource speaks directly to our current predicament. Epictetus taught, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters. Most of what passes for legitimate information is nothing of the kind." This perspective encourages us to be highly selective about what information we consume. The dichotomy of control helps us navigate news and social media without becoming overwhelmed. We cannot control world events or the constant flow of information, but we can control our consumption habits and responses. By establishing boundaries around information intake, we reclaim agency over our mental space. For managing news consumption specifically, the Stoic practice of distinguishing between what we can and cannot influence is crucial. Much news concerns matters entirely beyond our control, yet consuming it constantly can create the illusion that we should respond to everything. By focusing primarily on information relevant to our sphere of influence, we maintain both mental clarity and effective agency. Seneca's advice on reading applies well to our information environment. Be careful, however, lest this reading of many authors and books of every sort may tend to make you discursive and unsteady. You must linger among a limited number of master thinkers and digest their works, if you would derive ideas which shall win firm hold in your mind. This guidance suggests prioritizing depth over breadth in our information consumption. The Stoic practice of regular reflection provides an antidote to information overload. By setting aside time to process and integrate what we've learned rather than constantly consuming new information, we develop wisdom rather than mere knowledge accumulation. Practical Stoic approaches to information management include establishing regular information fasts, periods without news or social media, curating information sources for quality rather than quantity, scheduling specific times for information consumption rather than constant checking, practicing mindful reading, listening, giving full attention to one source, regularly reflecting on how information connects to your values and actions. By applying these Stoic principles to our relationship with information, we can stay informed without sacrificing mental clarity. This balanced approach allows us to engage with important issues while maintaining the inner tranquility essential for an iron-strong mind. Stoicism and sleep quality. Sleep is fundamental to mental resilience, yet often overlooked in discussions of psychological strength. The Stoics recognize the importance of proper rest for maintaining clarity and virtue, offering insights that complement modern sleep science. Seneca observed the connection between sleep and mental state. The mind should be allowed some relaxation, for it will rise improved and sharper after a good break. This recognition that rest enhances rather than detracts from productivity aligns with contemporary research on sleep's role in cognitive function and emotional regulation. The Stoic practice of evening reflection naturally prepares the mind for restful sleep. By reviewing the day's events, acknowledging both successes and shortcomings without judgment, we process experiences that might otherwise disturb our rest through rumination or dreams. For managing sleep-disrupting worries, the dichotomy of control offers valuable perspective. Many nighttime anxieties concern matters beyond our influence. By mentally sorting concerns into what we can and cannot control, then setting aside the latter until morning, we create mental space for rest. Marcus Aurelius practiced a form of mental preparation before sleep. When you have trouble getting out of bed in the morning, remember that your defining quality as a human being is your ability to reason and to act, not to sleep and feel good. While this specifically addresses morning awakening, it reflects the Stoic view that sleep serves virtue rather than mere pleasure. The Stoic emphasis on natural living aligns with modern understanding of sleep hygiene. Musonius Rufus taught that we should live in accordance with nature, which includes respecting our body's natural rhythms. This perspective encourages habits that support our circadian cycles rather than fighting against them. Practical Stoic approaches to sleep include evening reflection to process the day's events before bed, distinguishing between actionable concerns and those beyond control, viewing sleep as preparation for virtuous action rather than indulgence, accepting occasional sleeplessness without frustration, establishing consistent sleep routines aligned with natural rhythms. By applying these Stoic principles to our relationship with sleep, we support both physical and mental resilience. Quality rest becomes not merely a biological necessity, but an integral part of our philosophical practice, preparing us to face each day with clarity and virtue. Stoicism and aging. Aging presents unique challenges to mental resilience as we navigate physical changes, shifting roles, and our own mortality. The Stoics, who valued wisdom that develops through experience, offer powerful perspectives for maintaining inner strength throughout the lifespan. Seneca, writing in his later years, observed, "As for old age, it is charged with more reproaches than it deserves. Gray hairs and wrinkles cannot of themselves claim respect as merits. It is the life well spent which reaps the reward of respect." This perspective shifts focus from physical decline to the development of character and wisdom that can continue throughout life. The Stoic emphasis on virtue as the sole good provides stability amid the changes of aging. External conditions inevitably shift as we age. Physical capabilities, social roles, material circumstances, but the commitment to wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation remains a constant source of meaning and purpose. For managing physical limitations, the dichotomy of control offers crucial perspective. We cannot control the natural aging process, but we maintain control over our judgments about it and our responses to it. By focusing on what remains within our power, our attitudes, habits, and continued contributions, we maintain agency despite physical changes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Even if you're going to live 3,000 more years, or 10 times that, remember that no one loses any other life than the one they are living, and no one lives any other life than the one they are losing. The longest and the shortest life amount to the same, for the present moment lasts the same for all and is all anyone possesses." This perspective helps us value our remaining time regardless of age. The Stoic practice of memento mori, remembering death, takes on particular relevance in later life. Rather than creating fear, this awareness often enhances appreciation for remaining time and clarifies priorities. As Seneca advised, let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Practical Stoic approaches to aging include focusing on developing wisdom rather than lamenting physical changes, finding new ways to express virtue as capabilities shift, mentoring others as a form of meaningful contribution, practicing gratitude for the gift of additional years, preparing for death with philosophical acceptance. By applying these Stoic principles to aging, we develop the resilience to face this natural process with dignity and purpose. This doesn't eliminate the challenges of growing older, but transforms our relationship with them, allowing us to find meaning and even beauty in this stage of life. Stoicism and parenting. Raising children presents unique challenges to mental resilience, as we navigate tremendous responsibility with limited control. The Stoics, who viewed proper education as essential to virtue, offer valuable guidance for maintaining equanimity while nurturing the next generation. The dichotomy of control is perhaps the most relevant Stoic principle for parents. We cannot control our children's personalities, choices, or ultimate outcomes, but we maintain control over our own examples, responses, and the environments we create. By focusing on these areas of influence rather than trying to determine results, we parent more effectively while reducing unnecessary anxiety. Epictetus advised, when children stick their hand in a narrow neck jar to get something out, if they fill their hand they can't remove it. Drop a few items and you'll get it out. This metaphor reminds us that sometimes we must let go of certain expectations or desires regarding our children to achieve what truly matters: their development into independent, virtuous individuals. For managing the emotional intensity of parenting, the Stoic practice of maintaining perspective offers valuable balance. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Stick with the situation at hand." This focus on addressing one parenting challenge at a time prevents overwhelm while maintaining presence with our children. The Stoic emphasis on modeling virtue rather than merely preaching it aligns with effective parenting. Musonius Rufus taught, "For men to form a conception of the good is not sufficient, they must also be trained to follow it." Children learn primarily through observation, making our own character development the most powerful form of parenting. For navigating the inevitable mistakes of parenting, the Stoic approach to failure offers valuable resilience. By viewing missteps as opportunities for learning rather than evidence of inadequacy, we maintain the psychological stability to continue growing as parents. Practical Stoic approaches to parenting include focusing on modeling virtue rather than controlling outcomes, practicing acceptance of your child's unique nature, viewing parenting challenges as opportunities to develop patience and wisdom, maintaining perspective during difficult phases, finding meaning in the process rather than specific results. By applying these Stoic principles to parenting, we develop the resilience to navigate this profound responsibility with greater wisdom and equanimity. This balanced approach benefits both parent and child, creating a relationship grounded in virtue rather than control or attachment to particular outcomes. Stoicism and grief. Perhaps no experience tests our mental resilience more profoundly than grief. The Stoics, often mischaracterized as suppressing emotions, actually offered nuanced guidance for navigating loss while maintaining inner strength. Contrary to popular misconception, the Stoics didn't advocate eliminating grief, but transforming our relationship with it. Seneca, who experienced significant personal losses, wrote, "I am not telling you not to grieve at all, but not to grieve too much. For it is natural to feel sorrow, and to weep at the loss of those dear to us is both inevitable and proper." This balanced perspective acknowledges grief as a natural human response, while encouraging moderation that prevents being overwhelmed. The Stoics recognize that excessive or prolonged grief damages our capacity for virtue and contribution, without denying the genuine pain of loss. The Stoic practice of negative visualization, regularly contemplating the potential loss of what we value, serves both as preparation for grief and as a way to deepen appreciation in the present. By acknowledging the temporary nature of all relationships, we value them more deeply while they last, and develop some psychological readiness for eventual loss. For finding meaning amid grief, the Stoic emphasis on virtue provides valuable guidance. Even in our darkest moments, we retain the capacity to respond with courage, wisdom, and humanity. As Epictetus taught, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. By focusing on how we can respond virtuously to loss, we maintain a sense of purpose and agency. The Stoic recognition of our shared mortality offers perspective that can be comforting in grief. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All that comes to pass is as familiar and well known as the rose in spring and the fruit in summer. For so is disease and death, and calumny and treachery, and whatever else delights fools or vexes them." This universal human experience connects us to others across time, who have also loved and lost. Practical Stoic approaches to grief include allowing natural feelings while maintaining perspective, honoring the deceased through virtuous living, finding meaning in how you respond to loss, practicing gratitude for the time you shared, recognizing grief as part of our shared human experience. By applying these Stoic principles to grief, we develop the resilience to face loss without being destroyed by it. This doesn't eliminate pain but transforms our relationship with it, allowing us to honor both our loss and our continuing responsibility to live virtuously. Final reflections. The ongoing practice. As we conclude this exploration of Stoicism and mental resilience, it's worth emphasizing that building an iron-strong mind is not a destination but an ongoing practice. The Stoics themselves viewed philosophy not as abstract theory, but as daily training in the art of living well. Epictetus compared philosophical practice to athletic training. These are the things which philosophers should meditate on, which they should write daily, in which they should exercise themselves. Just as physical strength requires consistent exercise, mental resilience develops through regular application of Stoic principles. This practice isn't about achieving perfection, but about continuous improvement. As Seneca observed, "I am not yet wise, nor shall I ever be. Do not require me to be equal to the best, but better than the wicked. This is enough for me, to take away daily something from my vices, and to rebuke my errors." The journey toward an iron-strong mind will include both successes and setbacks. There will be moments when you embody Stoic principles beautifully, and others when you fall short. What matters is not perfection, but the commitment to return to these practices even after stumbling. Remember that Stoicism is ultimately practical. Its value lies not in intellectual understanding, but in application to real-life challenges. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. As you move forward from this exploration, consider which Stoic principles resonate most strongly with you. Perhaps it's the dichotomy of control, the practice of negative visualization, or the focus on virtue as the sole good. Begin with these areas of resonance, gradually incorporating additional practices as you develop. Start small and build gradually. A brief morning reflection, an evening review, or a moment of perspective taking during a challenging situation. These simple practices consistently applied can transform your mental landscape over time. Remember also that while Stoicism emphasizes self-reliance, you're not alone on this path. Throughout history and across the world today, countless individuals have drawn strength from these same principles. When you face difficulties in your practice, take comfort in this community of fellow travelers, both past and present. Finally, Trust the process. These principles have stood the test of time because they work. As you consistently apply them in your life, you'll gradually notice subtle shifts in your perceptions and responses. Over time, these small changes accumulate into profound transformation. The iron-strong mind isn't built in a day, a week, or even a year. It develops through countless choices, practices, and experiences, gradually forging a resilience that can weather life's greatest challenges with wisdom and equanimity. May your journey toward mental strength be rich with discovery, growth, and deepening wisdom, and may the ancient teachings of Stoicism serve as faithful companions as you forge your own iron-strong mind. Closing meditation. As we bring this journey to a close, take a moment to envision the iron-strong mind you are developing. Imagine yourself facing life's challenges with clarity, courage, and equanimity. See yourself distinguishing clearly between what you can and cannot control, focusing your energy where it can be most effective. Picture yourself maintaining perspective amid life's ups and downs, viewing challenges within the broader context of human experience. Envision yourself transforming obstacles into opportunities, asking what virtue you can practice in each situation. See yourself anchored in virtue regardless of circumstances, finding stability in your commitment to wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Imagine yourself fully present in each moment, responding with clarity rather than reacting from habit. Picture yourself accepting reality as it is, then responding with wisdom and virtue. Envision yourself appreciating what you have, rather than constantly craving more. See yourself connected to all humanity and the natural world, finding meaning in contributing to the common good. Imagine yourself approaching life as continuous growth, viewing every experience as an opportunity to learn and evolve. This iron-strong mind is already within you. Each time you practice these principles, you strengthen it. Each challenge you face with Stoic wisdom forges it further. As you drift into sleep, allow these ancient teachings to settle into your consciousness. Trust that your mind is absorbing what it needs, preparing you to face tomorrow with greater resilience and wisdom. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. May you awaken renewed, ready to practice the art of living well. May you face life's challenges with an iron-strong mind, forged in the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Sleep well, knowing that you are on a noble path, the path of those who seek not merely comfort but virtue, not merely success but wisdom, not merely pleasure but true flourishing. Good night.